Okay, so this is my Ceramics 3 glaze research from the semester. This was a little bit of a shaky process because A, there were a lot of just problems that happened with it, and B, glaze is probably my least confident area. It's my least favorite part of the process. But this was a learning curve, and I do think this made me appreciate the process of glazing and making glaze more. So that was beneficial in the very least. So last semester, me and the group I was in, we made a glaze recipe, made a quadraxial blend, obviously, and made all the little test cups, and that went well. But then the tests, based on last semester, the test tiles, once there was pigment put in them, um, they came out of the kiln, or my uh like group members' test tiles came out of the kiln completely ruined. They like melted everywhere. We think it was probably due to trying to fire a Raku glaze at cone 6, but we're not totally sure. But yeah, they just didn't work. Um, so what I wanted to do was try something else because I didn't figure putting a different pigment in the glaze that was melting everywhere would be, a beneficial experiment. So I decided to do a pigment color, or excuse me, pigment line blend instead, because to me at least, if I know that the base of a glaze is going to work, the pigment is a lot more of an interesting thing to play with. Just because I do like color. I like bright colors. I like the chemistry of pigmentation as well. So it would also, I felt like it was just less chance of it running all over the kiln shelves like the last ones did. And I know we have the raspberry, but I really wanted like a pink glaze, so I wanted to see if I could make one. And then, so the base recipe, I just used the re base recipe for the raspberry that we have in the studio, because it's food safe. I know it's stable. I know it's reliable. I've used it 100 times, and it just made sense because the tin oxide and chrome oxide is like the pinkest glaze pigmentation that I knew of. So it just made sense that if I wanted to, try and make something pinker, then I would use that recipe. So the pigments I used were tin oxide, which is not a pigment, it's an opacifier, but it's still something you add after the glaze is fully made. So there was 7.5% of that, 0.2% chrome oxide, and then I did a red iron oxide line blend to see if I could um, brighten up the color any, I guess. And um, I know red iron oxide is the only pigment in the Randy's red and a lot of other red glazes that I've researched. So I thought that adding a little bit more red into the glaze might make it pinker. And it kind of worked. So line blend, I did increments of 0.1 grams, which I realized after glazing was not nearly enough. So I did zero point 0.1 grams, 0.2 grams, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5 in 200-gram test batches. And these are the test tiles. As you can see, like it just looks clear. Um, so that was a little bit of a bust, but I do at least know what I did wrong. I don't think the pigments got mixed into the glaze well enough at all, because I was left with some clumps of tin oxide as well as some streaks of um, of the red iron oxide and the chromium oxide in the finished glaze. So these were the cups I glazed. You can definitely see where the tin oxide has like clumped up on them. Um, and they're definitely not pink, but there are spots that are like a reddish pink, and there are also spots that have this really interesting, like kind of purple blue sheen to them. So I don't hate these, I just wish they weren't like chunky. So these tiles were also done in this glaze though, and I think they turned out really well. So you can definitely see, especially up in this corner, these ones, the red iron oxide coming through. And It looks a little bit more red in the picture, but in person it definitely looks pink. Um, so I think what I need to do after this semester, if I want to continue with this, because I do want to like keep seeing if I can make it a true pink. Um, but I also don't mind like the kind of pearlescent colors that I got on the cups too. So I think I just need to add more red iron oxide and do a bit of a heavier line blend next time. So yeah, conclusions, user error. I made some mistakes with not combining the pigments of the glaze well enough and the opacifier. I definitely need to do another round of test tiles and kind of, I'm thinking maybe lower the opacifier and up the pigment in them. Um, but I got a semi-success, which I'm happy with for this semester, and I'm excited to work some more on it. So yeah, thanks for listening.